Woody, I haven't asked you at all this season about Willie Calhoun, but, I mean, he has great numbers right now. I feel like he's had the hardest outs on your team, too. His numbers could be even better. Can you just speak about his work ethic, having to deal with another injury in spring training and then coming back and just being such a solid producer for you and then using him in the leadoff spot?
Yeah, you know what? He's he did go through a lot last year, but I thought he handled this injury really well. I think he kept a positive attitude about it. And, didn't kind of get the poor me attitude. He just said, you know what, I got to get through this. I got to get back to being healthy. And I think from an offensive standpoint, he really bought into the fact that just to stay line drive up the middle, hit hammer balls to the gaps. The home runs will take care of themselves, and that's something that he's always naturally done. But I think this year he's in a much better headspace to be a better hitter. And you can see his bat speed and through the zone. It's an impact bat. And, yesterday off the top lefty in the ninth inning, hit the homer off him. As far as the leadoff spot, it's one of those things where this guy can impact the game from pitch one. I thought Kiner did a fine job. I think obviously Kiner hits lefties a little bit better. The righties, with Willie at the top, it's a good spot for him. It's a good spot for him to kind of set the tone for the whole game. And like I said, he's been swinging a really hot bat right now.
It's easy to understand what Kyle Gibson has meant to the team in terms of his performance, but I'm also curious, what does he mean to the team in terms of his ability to really eat up innings on a consistent basis ever since opening day?
He's been tremendous. Obviously first game, I'm going to kind of put that on the side. Since then, he's been lights out. He's been an ace. He's been our number one. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. You expect him to kind of go out and almost give you 6-7. Last night gives us 8 innings that we needed, and set up the rest of the game. We used our 8th and 9th inning guys when they were pretty much out of their guys. They won the game for us, and he's been tremendous. Just the way he's executing pitches, the conviction he has in his stuff. He's been lights out.
Rangers manager Chris Woodward joining us on the KNC Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan for the Woody Show. I saw Dak Prescott was wearing a Dak Prescott white jersey for the Rangers over the weekend, but he requested a Nick Solak powder blue jersey. Was something that he was like, I got to get me one of those. Is that if you were to compare Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott to a guy on your team, would Nick Solak be very similar?
Yeah. I think we have a lot of guys like Dak. I think, the workman mentality, the grinder, pretty passionate about the game, works his tail off, dependable every day. I think we have a lot of guys like that. Nick obviously represents that pretty well. And I'm guessing there's a lot of guys on our team. We have a few Cowboy fans on our team that would love to have Dak Prescott wear their jersey. It's pretty much an honor, knowing how he plays the game and just the way he was raised and, his whole story. We have a lot of guys like that. So I think Dak would be pleased to know that a lot of guys would be representative of him.
Woody, I want to talk about the way catchers are catching now. I know Heim still catches in the squat position. Trevino catches with the one knee down. I would say, 80% of catchers I watch on a regular basis now have the knee on the ground. And I think there's kind of a lot of controversy when I watch MLB Network on this and everything, because guys are struggling to block balls to their left and right, and they're kind of picking the ball more. So I guess I have two comments, and then I'd love your thoughts on it. If they're going to catch on one knee, should they go to the knuckleball catcher's mitt? Because they're kind of catching now like a first baseman with the ball in the dirt. So would it be more advantageous if that's the way to catch with more of a first baseman's catcher's glove? And then just give me your thoughts on why one knee now has become the norm.
Yeah, I think the one knee was something that, I know Bobby Wilson and our catching guys, we talked a lot about, and, stealing strikes or catching balls that, manipulating the strike zone a little bit, especially at the bottom of the zone, has become such an important thing. And Trevino is obviously, if you look at his numbers, just from a framing standpoint, is head and shoulders above everybody in the big leagues, and Jonah's right there with him. So our two catchers are the best at baseball at framing. So, we kind of, we don't want to sacrifice anything when you go to a knee, but the side-to-side balls are always going to be difficult. And I don't even know if some of those that are, pretty far to the side, you could even block anyways. If you're in a 2-foot stance, but it does give you a little bit less ability to move laterally. So I don't know if using a different glove would be the answer, because you don't see too many of those pitches. For as many pitches that are actually in the zone or around the zone, I don't know, 19 out of 20 pitches. I mean, there are a few, balls side to side that maybe, could cause some issues. But, if your pitchers are executing, they don't become an issue. And I think that's probably the most important thing. And we want to make sure that we're consistently getting those pitches called strikes, or, most of them. And Trevino, like I said, has been the top in baseball. So the amount of pitches he's getting called strikes is definitely worth, him going to a knee to be able to get underneath that pitch to make it look like a strike.